Hey guys, and welcome to this brand new channel. Today we're going to be talking about my very first series, my journey to learning Italian. Today, we're going to be talking about the 6 different things that I'm going to be doing to try and become fluent in Italian. I've been trying to learn Italian off and on very inconsistently for about 4 years now through dozens of different methods. I've had all the different apps. I've done some workbooks, some classes, all the different things, but I never stick with them long enough to really reach any sort of fluency or even like an intermediate level. So the purpose of this series is to change that and push past just the basics and use this as kind of a way to keep me accountable. I've watched dozens of videos of advice and different tips and tricks that people have of how to learn languages and what the best way to do it is. And it feels like everyone really has a different method. So I'm kind of just going to create something as I go. With that in mind, we're just going to jump right into it. The first thing I'm going to be doing is working on this workbook. I have no idea if it's good or not. I just found it at a used bookstore. So I'm going to try and work my way through it. I don't think I've ever actually finished a language workbook, just like one that I'm doing on my own. So that's my goal with this one, to get this done. It's August 8th today when I'm filming this, and my goal is to have it done by the end of August, so we'll see if that's something I can do. That workbook is going to be my primary source for things like grammar, working on some vocab, doing like active practice and recall. It's probably 20 or 30 years old, so if there's anything like tech terms or stuff like that in there, it's probably outdated, but I feel like it'll give me a good baseline and kind of review for all of the basics. The second thing that I will be doing, and I'll probably wait to do this until after I finish the workbook, so I'm just kind of back in the mode, I have more vocab, have more things on my belt, is Short Stories in Italian by Olly Richards. I've watched a ton of his YouTube videos. They're super great. I really love his stuff. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this book. Basically, there's a bunch of different short stories in here. You read through them, and then there's like reading comprehension questions at the end of each story to help work on your recall, your understanding, obviously your reading comprehension. So that will be kind of my first step into really working on my reading, my comprehension, trying to understand things through stories and input that way. And I think he has a second volume for the Italian series. So if I like this one, I'll definitely get that one after this and work on that next. The third thing that I will be working on, and this is going to be solely input based, is listening to podcasts, TV shows, music, movies, YouTube videos, anything where I could just listen. I'm going to try and do some active listening, but I'm going to try and just get as much passive input as I can and hopefully listen to at least one podcast, one video, one something every single day just to get used to listening to it, trying to comprehend things and understand the language better spoken. I'm hoping this will also help with learning different accents, kind of deciphering different ways people say things, different pronunciations, and understanding the nuances between especially words that are super similar but mean different things or used in lots of different ways. And I'm going to try and listen to as many different types of things as I can. So, nonfiction, fiction, all different kinds of topics, news, stories, whatever it may be. So I get as many different kinds of words and grammar concepts and different structures in as many different ways as possible. The fourth thing that I plan on doing, I found this app. I don't think it has any reviews on the App Store, but it says it's been around for over 4 years. I have no idea if it's any good, but I really like the concept of it. It's called Top 3,000 Italian Words, I think. The creator of it has a few dozen different language apps that focus primarily on the most common words in a language. But it has a lot of different ways to study them. It'll send you a notification. It'll let you do quizzes, flashcards. There's games. But one of the things that I really like about it, it has this thing called progressively translated books, which is a concept I actually learned about from TikTok from somebody showing a copy of The Great Gatsby translated this way into German. But basically what it is the book starts primarily in English with just a few spatterings of different words in the other language. And as you get through the book, it becomes progressively more translated into the other language. So at the beginning, it's probably 95% English, 5% Italian, and by the end, it's probably closer to 95% Italian, 5% English. So that's going to be one of the big things that I try and do with that app, is use that for another form of reading comprehension, and hopefully it'll help me understand the language in its natural context, but slowly over time. So instead of the Short Stories in Italian book where it's entirely in Italian and you have to just kind of go through and push through if you don't know anything, this one is supposed to help you slowly ease into it and really help bolster your vocabulary, understand the grammar structures, and how the words fit into the language. But aside from that, I really like that this app focuses on the most common words and not random stuff, like especially things like Duolingo, just has so many random different things that you know you're never going to use in real life. So that's going to be my primary form of vocabulary study and practice, is to go through those different quizzes to try and just recap maybe 5 or 10 words every single day, maybe in different topics or maybe just kind of randomly, just so I can continue to get vocab study in throughout the whole process. The fifth thing that I will be doing will be journaling and vlogging. So this is going to be entirely output focused, obviously. I'm going to try and vlog more than I journal, just because chances are I'm going to be speaking way more than I would be writing. But I still want to get that writing practice in. I really want to focus on all 4 key kind of aspects of the language: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So I'm going to try and do as many vlogs and journals and things like that as possible, just to see how much I can produce organically, where my vocab is, especially with vlogs, looking at my pronunciation, what I'm stumbling on, and trying to see what really comes naturally in the conversation. The sixth and final thing that I will be doing is a little bit different, and it's kind of going to be like a mini series within this series. But I've found in the past that when I teach somebody a concept or explain something, it really helps me absorb the information and understand it better, which I think is probably true for a lot of people. But I'm going to try and incorporate that into my studies. So I'm going to have a series on here where I have the slides, the lesson, the whole thing, and I'm going to make a video explaining different concepts that I've learned to you guys. Now, obviously, I don't speak the language. I'm not an Italian teacher, so take it all with a grain of salt, but I'm going to do my best to break down each concept that I learn, each vocab set, all the different things, into bite-sized, manageable pieces, and share that with you guys to both help myself retain the information. It'll be a good review for something I've already learned, and hopefully help somebody out there who's maybe trying to learn the language also. Now, as I mentioned, each of those are going to be probably little bite-sized lessons, super short, but I'm going to try and do them for every single thing that I learn, whether it is a vocab set, a grammar concept, or just random little things about the language that I learn, so that it's as all-encompassing as possible, from the very basics all the way through any advanced concepts that I get to. So those are the 6 different things that I'm going to be trying to do to hopefully become fluent in Italian. I also took a language level test the other night, really a few of them, to kind of see where I'm at, just to have a baseline to measure against. I tested into an A2 level, but I'm probably closer to A1, so I'm kind of like an A1.5-ish. I'm going to test periodically after I finish each workbook or different thing, just to see where I am, where I measure up, and if I've kind of progressed along the way. So I hope you follow along. Please hit the subscribe button if you're interested at all to see where my journey goes and how I get there. If you are trying to learn a language, drop it down below. Let me know what you're learning, what your process is going to be, and how far along you are in the journey. If you are someone who has learned a language, especially as an adult, to any kind of fluency, drop all of your tips and tricks down in the comments for me and anyone else trying to learn a language. And I will obviously update you guys and add any tips and tricks that I learn along the way, update you guys on any resources that I'm using, and just how the process is going in general. So I hope you stick around to see it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao, ciao.